Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel Biodiversity and Conservation. I am Subhalakshmi Rao from Amritsar Research Foundation, India, and today we are going to talk about some other sections of uh, Unit 8 Environmental Assessment Management and Legislation. So let's start. So today we are going to talk about some sections of Chapter 5 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. And here it talks about the trade or commerce in wild animals, animal articles and trophies. So as we previously know, animal articles are the dead after the animal dies, the body parts or like their tusk or tusk of elephant or um, the horns of deer, and all those things are articles. And if we are using these things for money purpose, then it becomes trophies. So in the 40 section of chapter 5 we talk about declarations, and here it is being declared that any person who have uh, the custody or possession of any captive animal who are not in the schedule list, like in schedule 1 or schedule 2, or the animal articles, if they have them, they have to be punished. And uh, means if they have and they have not informed the officials about it, then they will be punished. And if they have the writing of the chief wildlife warden that they can keep, like in some communities they think that it's prosperous to keep the horns and the head of some animals, and if they come under the scheduled property, then schedule list, then they have to take the permission of the chief wildlife warden or any other authorized officer so that they can keep this item with them in their possession. So if they have not taken the permission and kept it, then it's a offensible crime and they will get punishment for this. And no person other than the person having the certificate of ownership can keep these items, uh, except if these things are inherited to them from their upper generations, then only they can keep these items. And if any person who is inheriting these articles or captive animals, they have to make a declaration to the chief wildlife warden or the authorized officer, so that when anyone else goes for checking, they can show that yes, we have the permission to keep, we have the declaration to keep these things with us. And the state government actually requires a person to um, declare to the chief wildlife warden or the authorized officer about the animal or animal article that is in his control or custody, because some rules are there to follow, and they are safeguarding our wildlife. So some things we have to go according to the rules. Now in section 40A we are talking about immunity in certain cases. So like in case of inheritance, they have the immunity to keep these articles. So like that only, um, some some people are given, some people or organization are given immunity to keep the animal articles or something. So if they declare to the chief wildlife warden about this uh, possession of theirs, then only they can be granted immunity. And if the rules are violated, then there will be proceedings, and then after taking into consideration every facets that are given to um, the judge, then they will decide if the person is should be punished or not. So in 41 section, we talk about inquiry and preparation of inventories. So here it talks about inquiries that is to be done after a person submits a declaration. Then the officer, authorized officer, or the chief wildlife warden have to do an inquiry and enter into the premises of the person with uh, if they have the permission to do so, then they have to make inquiries about how they got this article, if it is inherited, they have any identification keys so that it can be marked as theirs only. And if any person tries to counterfeit this identification mark, then it is a punishable crime. So from this section, it just says about inquiry. If they think that these things belong to the person, then they will grant the permission to keep those things. If they find that the person is lying and he or she cannot give the proper documents, then they can seize those articles and punish the person for lying and counterfeiting document or killing animals. In 42 section of the chapter 5, we talk about certificate of ownership. So after they have declared to the chief wildlife warden about the keeping these wild animal or the trophy or article, then the chief wildlife warden will inquire it, and after finding its um, truth about the ownership, if the person is true, then they will issue a certificate of ownership to the person who is in the lawful possession of the wild animal or the article trophy. So then only they can keep that animal in with them. And they cannot also give the certificate of ownership for any captive animal, because they have to ensure that the applicant actually has the facilities to maintain the animal. So then only they can give the certificate of ownership to the person for any captive animal. In 43 section, it talks about the regulation of transfer of animal. Like if any person has in his possession any captive animal or article uh, with the certificate of ownership, they have to transfer or apply for sale of that animal. Then uh, that will be considered a commercial form of transfer. And if any person transfers the animals or articles from state to another state, then he or she have to have the certificate of ownership, and within the 30 days of transfer, they have to report the transfer to the chief wildlife warden or any authorized officer. And the the there is also this thing that nothing in this sections like transfer or this is applied to the tail feather of the peacock that cannot be transferred, and the animal article or trophies which are made from these, and also they cannot transfer captive animals between recognized zoos, um, and transfer amongst only zoos and public museums. And those zoos who are recognized come under the provisions of section 31, 38(1). And uh, there are some restrictions which zoos are to be kept captive animals and which zoos cannot keep. So in the section 38I, it talks about the conditions. So this is all from me today. Thank you for listening.